Welcome to my channel. Today's urban legend is about the Detroit Lions and their old stadium, the Tiger Stadium, and how the team hasn't been the same ever since they left. You ready? Let's dive in. Now, for those who don't know anything about Detroit sports history, let me catch you up. First off, the old Tiger Stadium, also known as the corner of Michigan and Trumbull, was built in 1938 and was home to both the Detroit Lions and the Detroit Tigers, hence the name. But it was the Lions who made this place famous because for years they were good, really good. They were so good that over a 15-year span, they won 3 NFL championships. So it was a special time to be a Lions fan. And being at the stadium was an experience. Even if it was cold or raining or snowing, which it usually was in Detroit, there was no bigger thrill than being inside the stadium on game day. This place was a cathedral of sorts. It had character, charm, and a certain grit to it. It wasn't fancy, it wasn't new, but it was intimate. And it seemed like the fans were right on top of the players. And the players fed off that energy. In fact, there was a certain mystique about the stadium and the team. They called it the soul of the stadium. It was like a magical place where the turf was always greener and the beer was always colder. And somehow the Lions always seemed to find a way to win. It was a different time, a simpler time. There was no such thing as luxury boxes or huge video boards or club seats. It was just old school baseball meets old school football in a place where everybody cheered and nobody complained. Then in 1975, it all came crashing down. That year, the Lions moved into a brand new stadium out in Pontiac called the Silverdome. It was bigger and nicer and much, much colder. Plus, there were luxury boxes. Now, fans still loved the Lions and they followed them to the new stadium in droves. But many of them were heartbroken. Something was lost. The charm, the grit, the intimacy, even the soul of the stadium was left behind. For the fans, it wasn't just a building that got torn down. It was a piece of their identity. A place where generations of fans had shared memories and traditions was now nothing but a pile of bricks. Now, at first, everything seemed fine. The Lions continued to play hard and they were competitive for several years. But slowly but surely, things began to unravel. The team began to lose. Year after year, they got worse and worse. By the end of the 70s, they were a laughing stock. By the 80s, they were in full-blown rebuild mode. And by the 90s, they were back in the playoffs. But then they got back to the Super Bowl. Oh, wait, sorry. They didn't. They never did. And that's when people started to wonder, could this have something to do with that place on the corner of Michigan and Trumbull? Could the Lions be cursed? See, it started out as a joke. A little jab here, a playful dig there. Hey, why did the Lions leave? Their championship, their soul, their stadium. But as the years went by and the Lions continued to struggle, people began to take it more seriously. What if the stadium itself was cursed? What if Tiger Stadium was somehow blessed with magic or something? And once the Lions left, the magic disappeared. Now, you're probably thinking, come on, get real. It's just a stadium. Well, to these fans, it wasn't just a stadium. It was a shrine. And shrines sometimes hold power, especially when you piss them off. The fans began connecting the dots. Barry Sanders, arguably the greatest Lion ever, retired suddenly in his prime. Calvin Johnson, the best receiver the Lions ever had, walked away too soon. Then there was the 0-16 season in 2008, the worst season in modern NFL history. All of a sudden, the curse theory started to make sense to a lot of people. Is it real? Who knows? But it makes for a great story. And stories like this one live forever in sports lore. These days, Ford Field is nice. It's shiny and modern. But to some, it just doesn't have the same feel. Sure, the Lions still play hard and they're competitive. Every once in a while, they even make the playoffs, but they haven't done anything meaningful in almost 30 years. And that's why many fans believe the curse of Tiger Stadium lives on. So what do you think? Do the Lions need to break the curse? Leave your thoughts below. And while you're at it, stay tuned for more legendary stories from my channel.